Well, Longhaulpaul here, and I am here with my Tenere 700, and we're going to be talking to you a little bit about my experiences and thoughts on the bike so far, a little bit about the accessories I've added and why, and to let you know that in the past 4 months I've put a little over 20,000 miles on the brand new 2021 Yamaha Tenere 700. Getting up to the handlebars, I've done a couple of things here. I have the Healy bars, which is a riser that they built for this bike. Basically, it puts the bars up and back a little bit, which gives me a really good stance. Whether I'm standing or whether I'm sitting, it's putting my arms right at the right position. The other thing I added to the handlebars is I did add a set of Oxford heated grips. I've been a fan of Oxford for 10 or 15 years. I'm very happy with them. For the handguards, basically, I'm trying to block the wind and in the winter the snow, ice, rain. So I added this little adapter, and it wasn't cheap because I had it shipped from, I don't know, Germany or Italy. But these are made by Pyramid. They're the company that makes like the fender extenders and things out of plastic. And it's basically just a stick-on extender, but it adds another inch or so. And through the winter, what I do is I use a covering, almost like the old hippo hands, but it's a short one. And I use that in the winter, which keeps my hands warm, and it allows the heated grips to actually keep the heat inside this area. It makes a big difference when you're driving at 75 or 85 miles an hour. With the heated grips on, the wind is just sucking that heat right off that grip as fast as it can heat up. So having a way to block that is important. I didn't touch the mirrors. The mirrors are incredible. I added a little RAM mount with my phone. I have a Moto Power Puck wireless adapter built into a phone cradle that I made. It's the ugliest thing on the bike, but it works. When things work, I tend to leave them. The left side of the handlebars, I have controls for my new Clearwater lights. I have controls for my Yamaha Foglights, and I've added a Garmin GPS to the bar up front. Now, I had purchased an expensive mount for the bar. It didn't work with the Garmin, which is a motorcycle GPS, but the 396 is the less expensive one. So I bought a mount that I found on Alibaba for $11 or something, and that's actually worked fine. Up front, I have controls for my heated gear, which is a wireless controller. Basically, I plug my heated jacket into a plug I put on the left side here, and then I can control it up here, gloves or jacket. On top of my brake master cylinder here, I have a radar detector that's been wrapped in silicone waterproof tape, and then I have my spot tracker so that you can go online right now and see that my bike is out in the woods somewhere. Now, everybody says, you're riding long distance on this bike, you know, you need cruise control. Well, I've never used cruise control, even when I had it. If I ever did turn it on, it was just basically if I needed to do something with my hands, put some paper in the fax machine while I'm riding, something. Other than that, all I really need to do is lock the throttle once in a while, like I said, to do something. And so what I've done is I've built, I'm using a Vista Cruise, which is a $25 item, and I very simply electrical eyelet that you would use to screw into something, and I bent it, and I used the tab to hold it in place, stuck it in there, put the screw from the throttle housing back in, it holds it in place, and basically it just locks my throttle wherever I want it. As I'm riding, I just lock it, and I can rest my hands, I can put my hands over here, I can scratch my head, I can do whatever I need to do. And that's all I've ever needed for long distance. I don't need electronic cruise control. I've never been a fan of it. I think I drive too fast to actually use it anywhere. The speeds I'm going, I I prefer to have full control where I can just click off the throttle really fast if I need to. And I'm constantly, you know, trying to get by the slower traffic and things that I really don't see a need how it would help me. Let's see, the front of the bike, I did change out the horn. I just put a cheap horn I got off of eBay. It was kind of a temporary thing. I had plans to put an air horn, but the horn that I found actually is working great, so we're going to leave it there. A couple weeks ago, I live in New Hampshire. I went out to Sacramento, California. Actually, I went out to the company called Clearwater. He said, why don't you come by, we'll throw some lights on that bike for you. And Clearwater makes high intensity LED, top of the line, made in USA light system. And they have a whole system that goes on the Tenere, which they actually designed and built for my bike, but they now offer it for your bike. Incredible lights, incredible company. They donated the lights to me. They're amazing. I'll show you some video of the Clearwater lights. These are the Ericas, and they're amazing. You know, I don't always ride the Blue Ridge Parkway at night in the dark with only one eye, but when I do, rest assured, I always do it with my Clearwater lights. These babies are bright. Now, because I'm running all of these electronic items, I've added a lot of circuits and things like that. I have up front, it does come with a cigarette lighter port, but what I did was I moved the cigarette lighter port to the right side, and on the left side, so I can reach it with my left hand, I added a powerlet port. I made it a 15 amp powerlet port. So if I need to plug in my heated gear in a second place, if something happens to the plug that I built down here, I have a secondary. Now, it's very important to me when I'm riding and it's 10 degrees out and my electric heated gear stops working. It's not just inconvenience, it's dangerous. I can go to hypothermia in a matter of minutes. So being able to just plug in a different spot without stopping makes it nice. I have a little voltmeter up here, so when I am running my lights, high-powered lights, my heated grips, my electric jacket, my electric pants, my gloves, when I got all that going in the winter, I have a voltmeter so I can pay attention to what my alternator's doing. So that's great. And now to add all these electronic things to the bike, some people just take all these wires and connect them all to the battery. Well, it's not a really good idea. I know because I've done it 1,000 times, but I'm now using a power hub, and it's built by Eastern Beaver. In Japan, they make great electronic products for a lot of different bikes, but I've used their external fuse panel, and it adds it's a 50 amp circuit, which is really cool. And so all of my stuff is labeled, and it's all plugged into this power port. So if I have an issue with something I've done, I can disconnect it, and it's away from the wiring of the motorcycle. The factory wiring is untouched. There's nothing on the bike that I've cut or spliced into. I've only used plugs, and I've only used that hub to put all my extra stuff on. That's another lesson I've learned over the years, is not to cut the factory wiring. You end up with issues, especially if you're like me and you put on thousands and thousands and thousands of miles every year, riding through rain, snow, sleet, salt, all that stuff just destroys any of the wiring that's been cut or altered. So I always try to keep that separate. Well, once again, Longhaulpaul. I am going to be taking a few days off. I've got recovering from the eye surgery, and I have a little another surgery on a nerve in my arm next week. So we'll be able to get to some of these videos. I'm going to show you some of the nice places I've ridden already on this bike, and I'm really looking forward to the spring. Even through the winter, I should be back on the bike by December, and I just really looking forward to putting some more miles on this bike. It's an incredible bike. It's doing more than I expected as far as being able to handle the type of riding that I do, high speed, long distance, hours and hours and hours and hours on the bike. It sucks up the miles, and I'm loving it. This is a bike that isn't going to go away for a long time. The aftermarket companies know it. They're making millions of different parts for this bike, you know, if you get a chance to ride one, take one for a ride. Yamaha demos all over the country. And once this COVID crap is over, I'm at all the rallies with Yamaha, and ask me questions. Take a bike for a ride. It's a great bike. It does a lot of things well. It does everything I need it to do, and more. And it's a fun bike. So stay tuned.